Speaking of legislation, some committees at the State House trying to make a mad dash to get bills printed and heard before the window closes for the year. Last Friday, the House Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee met for about, 3 minutes, and they printed 15 bills, most of which weren't even heard. But one piqued our interest for a number of reasons. First one is, we first talked about it last fall after KTVB announced and updated our mugshot policy. Representative Brooke Green reached out to us then and commended us on it, told us why. She said a friend of hers took her own life 2 years ago, and Representative Green was convinced it was because her mugshot was made public. She also told us then she hoped to bring some sort of legislation to change that, and now she has. Green's bill will prohibit law enforcement from releasing mugshots for nonviolent misdemeanors that ultimately result in a mental hold. As we said, this bill is a personal one for Representative Green, something she hoped to address the session after she lost her best friend. She ended up backing off that year. But Katya Stepovic finds out why Representative Green brought it forth this year.
While 2 years ago, I put it on the sideline this year. And, personally, I have enough courage to bring it forward this year.
And she did. Friday, Representative Green introduced House Bill 620, a piece of legislation that would, quote, protect the booking image of an individual who within 24 hours of booking had been detained or hospitalized for a mental purpose, provided that the crime was a misdemeanor not involving assault or battery, prohibiting law enforcement from publicly releasing the mugshot for a person involved in this kind of incident.
It's a provision to enable and to provide for these individuals an opportunity to get help. The last thing a lot of these people want is one of their worst moments, especially a moment in which they may not necessarily recall, captured in film. And so I think it's one step forward in ensuring that we're putting the appropriate provisions to allow those folks who, because of their mental illness, found themselves entering the judicial system through this way, the means and the mechanism to go ahead and get the help and the privacy.
A moment captured of Jessica Harrison in 2019, Green's best friend who battled with mental health struggles and died by suicide.
And sure enough, when she did enter the system, and as a result of being arrested for trespassing and disturbing the peace, her mugshot was out there, and it became entertainment for the nightly news that night. And my best friend's worst moment became everybody else's entertainment.
Green says Jessica is the reason that she had the courage and passion to bring a bill forward just like this one. She wonders what the outcome would have been if this bill were in place before Jessica was arrested.
If this bill was in place when Jessica found herself arrested, it would have given her the dignity and the privacy to get the help, and that image would not have been disseminated or made available via public record. So her moment in time, her worst moment in time, would not have been everybody else's entertainment.
And did she ever share with you her thoughts or, emotions that she went through when she realized that picture was made public?
She shared with me, that just in general, that she doesn't know how she's going to get out of this, like how she's going to recover from this. And pardon me. And, if it would have given her the ability to have privacy, then maybe the outcome would have been different. The least we can do is recognize that, mental illness is not a crime. And any steps that we could put forward to ensure that we decriminalize mental illness, this is one baby step in which to do it.
And if anyone is experiencing thoughts of suicide, it is so important to remember that there is help out there. A great resource is, of course, Idaho Suicide Prevention Hotline. Now that number is at the bottom of your screen. Brian.
Katya, it's worth pointing out that we did not share Jessica's picture when she was arrested those 2 years ago, but it was about last fall, as you mentioned, that we changed our mugshot policy when it comes to cases like that.
Yeah, and we did. And there are several instances in which we will opt to use a suspect's mugshot, including but not limited to these things. And that includes an immediate threat to public safety, a closed case or prior conviction, a case involving a public figure or elected official, and a case KTVB will follow from start to very finish. And KTVB's new mugshot policy, that's been in place since September. Brian.
All right, thank you very much, Katya. I know Representative Green, when we spoke to her last fall, was talking about maybe even just putting a delay on this. So we'll see how this bill advances, if it does. Thanks, Katya.